Okay, Coach. Well, we are about a $50 cab ride away from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
Set! Check 88! Check 54! Hey, 59! Here's a 99! There's a 99! Huh? 64! Wait!
Now the former fourth-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Back to throw, Watson. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's nowhere to escape, and he goes down. He is proving his worth defensively, getting the sack here. That comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
After the sack on first down, Watson is going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked up by Gary and Conley. Well, they told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Lock to throw on 2nd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Quentin Williams able to record his 5th sack of the season. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
50.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Check out. 53 is the mark. Ready?
Throwing his lock on 3rd down. He's going to go for a big play downfield. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jones.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
54. Bound to lose one.
The drive will commence with a run by Balaj. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Guys, it's game situation. Let's go.
To throw is Watson. He's got this one complete to Perriman. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. They'll run here with Balaj.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Jet first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
Here's Watson. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Another try after the first down sack. Watson looking for Perriman there. He's got him. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 28.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the Broncos' 27-yard line.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. I'm here all day. I'm here all day. Mike 54.
On 2nd and 9. Watson. That is caught by Anderson for a Jets touchdown. Robbie Anderson. His 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jordan Willis able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
53, Mike, gotta do better.
Here's Locke. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
They run it with Balaj. And some room to work. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Kalen Balaj, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Jets will extend their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On 2nd down, it's Gordon. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2 as they're facing a very tough 3rd and 11. And the Jets D, they call on a couple extra defensive backs on 3rd.
Here we are. Check 53, Mike. Check 53.
From the gun on 3rd down, Locke. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. Butker on for the PAT. And it is now 21-0. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
over 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield.
He's got a man, complete. Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
Ready, set. 53, Mike. Hey, Haywood.
Block working out of the gun. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
53's a Mike. 53, check.
On 2nd down, here's Locke. And he comes back with one complete. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Alpha. 61 now.
From the gun on 3rd down. Locke. Open man is Gordon, complete. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Here we go, set. 18, Gator. Number 53, Mike 53. Hey, Steve 6. 53's Mike. Get it.
Throwing on 1st down is Locke. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Yannick Ngakoue. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. To try again after the sack. Locke. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. You line him up.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Watson to the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. Now, they try to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Now it's Watson. Going to throw right side here. Complete. 23 yards, the final tally. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
So it's challenge time. The referee's tablet coming out. And the big question, Charles, did that football break the plane to the goal line?
They just need any part of the ball to cross the goal line in order for it to count. And remember, it's got to be indisputable, though. Sometimes we think it's going to be there. We can't really find it on the tablet. So we'll see what the final call is going to be.
They come out here in the eye. Here's a run with Mil2. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Check. Watch 54. Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
2nd down and goal. Watson. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. As his guys are in for 6. And the Jets will extend their lead. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score. And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them. Extra point right down the middle. And a rout is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they? Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that.
But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. The Broncos send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Fielded just inside the 30. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just given them a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
And now they're just looking to add to that total. There goes a deep ball. That is caught by Anderson for a Jets touchdown. Deshaun Watson with his third touchdown pass of this first half as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And his first carry, he loses the football. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Well, he's not the starter coming in, getting his first carry off the bench. That's not the way to earn more carries.
You have to stay in the game, even if you're not on the field, right? Stay mentally sharp, stay ready, and above all, when you get into the game, hold on to the football. Don't let the other team have it.
They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on first down. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So after the penalty, we'll have one final untimed play here before halftime. A final shot before half for Locke. Wide open receiver complete. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
Go. Come get some. He don't want it.
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Locke. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Man open. He's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Cortland Sutton, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Broncos are in for 6. Extra point up and good by Bullock. And that will get him one closer. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this was just
under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down.
And he's going to go down again.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
24 is down, he's coming.
3rd and long, it's Watson. And he's got it complete to Anderson. A heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Mike, I'm on. 36. Check three. Shift. Look, squeeze. Go.
Clock will try again on 2nd down. Shakes off the sack. Buying time to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And now here's another interception. Picked off at the 40. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense.
This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. The first play of the drive there is incomplete. He was trying to find Noah Fant, the tight end, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Lock. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
It's a party now.
Now Lock throwing on 2nd down. Quick hitter here, it's complete.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people.
So 3rd and 2, and I count 6 defensive backs out there.
Check 4, 6-6, pull it high. 5. Big grip.
3rd and 2, Lock's going to throw. And he's got his man on the out route.
Let's go. Ready?
Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. Lock now. Perfect since the second half started. 7 of nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
He's going to let this one go deep. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to him.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th. Block now to throw. That's to his running back, complete. Gordon loses the football. It's loose. And it's scooped up by the Jets. There he goes left side. And he takes it to the house. It's a fumble recovery for a Jet touchdown. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. And you talk about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy.
Without a doubt. But for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This one taken just inside the 10. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Lock and the Broncos going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 13. On play action, Lock. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Yannick Ngakoue make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Gordon. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but There are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off near the 29, and they will take over at the 29-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
On second down and 4, Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They fake the handoff, now Locke. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this third quarter of play. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. Here it's 3rd and 3. Locke going to try and throw on 3rd down. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Denver has the first down. The play going for 15 yards.
Let's go. 53 is the mic. 53 is the mic.
Locke now on 1st down. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Locke again here on 2nd and 10. And this is caught at the 8. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Broncos get 1 score closer. Bullock good on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This fielded at the 2. He juked him. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Check.
2nd and 5 now. Watson under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? That is caught. It's Perriman. Rashad Perriman off to the races. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. It's another touchdown pass for Deshaun Watson, his 5th of the afternoon, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And someone a little too eager to block this extra point. Henceforth the flag. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Let's get it. Now.
Lock to throw on 2nd down. And he will find his man on the outside. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
53, Mike. Check pass. Check pass. Now. Motion. Hey, check motion, man. Forget it.
Lock now on 1st down. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Here's Watson. Looking for Perriman there. He's got him. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards the pickup there. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellows up front in order to bring this one home.
Now Balaj. And he lost the football. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. Again, it's Balaj, and he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Let's go, D.
19-yard line.
Right there. 54, Mike. I got you.
Balaj. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Second and 10.
They'll try the air now with Watson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. That catch puts him right at 100 yards receiving now, and it also gives him a first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Here's Watson. This will be caught at about the 6. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And Watson's going to throw it here. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead will swell by one more.
63.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Quentin Williams in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Boy, and now they can't even get a play off.
Sack, baby! Good job. On the ready. Hey, we got. Hey, seam 6. Seam 6. Let's go, let's go. Let's go.
On second down, here's Locke. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Josh Jones. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the Broncos' 33-yard line.
Who's that? 19? 28. Not here.
Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.